Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sue of Bend and Stretch with Sue. And in today's video, I'm bringing you a Pilates practice. This one is focused on the abs. So if you've been with me for a while, you'll know that any practice that I do, I really like to balance both sides of the muscles. So of course, we'll be focusing on the rectus abdominis, those six-pack muscles. We'll work some of the oblique muscles as well, and the back muscles, which is so important in order to develop a really strong and healthy core and back. Now, if you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. Thank you so much if you already have. Don't forget to give me one of these if you like the content, and be sure to hit that notification bell so you'll know when I upload some new content. You can check it out and check me out in the next video. Let's get started now. Namaste.
It won't go away.
As we get started, we'll begin on our backs in a supine position. And we're just going to warm things up here with some nice, easy, gentle knee circles. A little bit of a squeeze, a little hug. And breathing in and then crunching back in. So the idea here is to just get the muscles warmed up, to get the joints lubricated, and preparing ourselves for that ab practice that's ahead. Making these knee circles here with one leg at a time in both directions creates this circumduction that is just so awesome for getting the lubrication happening in the hips. And that will improve the mobility as we go through the exercises that are coming ahead. Now, as we add a little twist here from side to side, not only do we create some flexibility to the spine, but it's also very, very helpful to warm up the oblique muscles as we get the stretch happening through the intercostals, the waist, and the spine. Now, these leg raises are terrific for getting the hamstrings warmed up. Especially if you do a lot of sitting, you might find that those hamstring muscles are quite tight. These bridges are going to help the glutes to fire, and that too is going to be really important for stabilizing the body as we focus on working those abs. We want to make sure that all the muscle groups know their role. We want the abs to do the ab work and the glutes to do the glute work. So starting with this tabletop position, we begin with some easy crunches. Now the idea is to tuck the chin in, and as you reach through those fingertips, notice the legs are staying put in that tabletop position. We want to try to park the head right above those shoulders as we crunch up. So just easing out of there, taking a quick little release, and from there we move into preparation for the 100 series. So you've got lots of options as far as where you place your legs. I've got them extended nice and long, which is going to prove to be the really tough position for the 100. You're inhaling for 5 counts, exhaling for 5, and pumping those arms right from the shoulders. So keeping the arms nice and strong. Make sure you don't have any floppy arms or floppy wrists here. Trying to keep that torso nice and still. So you might be starting to feel a little bit of burn going on here in the rectus abdominis, those six-pack muscles. We've got lower abs and upper abs engaged. So as we finish it up again, give yourself a nice little squeeze, little hug, and from here, we bring the heels in, planting those feet to move up into bridges, Pilates bridges. We'll get the arms going as well, and that will help to really bring that attention to the powerhouse. That's those muscles right from the navel to the pelvic floor. Make sure you give a squeeze at the top when you lift those hips up to make sure the glutes are firing. We've already warmed them up, and now we want to keep that going, getting that power in the powerhouse. So that lower abdominal group of muscles is really getting toned here. It's like a sandwiching of those organs in between. As we stack the knees and bring the fingertips by the ears, connecting the soles of the feet, opening the knees nice and wide as we crunch elbows toward the knees. Now, the legs are staying relatively still, so the idea is you're not bringing your knees too close toward the elbows, but instead try to emphasize bringing the elbows closer to your thighs or your knees. So as usual, we do approximately 10 repetitions for each move. Keeping those feet together, we move right into some butterfly reaches. Pointer fingers extended, and try to bring your lower ribs toward the hip bones so that each time you roll up, you are feeling yourself closing that gap in the waist. Trying to keep the shoulders well away from your ears. So even though you're extending through the arms, you're trying to keep those shoulders down as best as you can. You don't want to create too much tension in your neck, but instead in the abs is where we want it. From here, we're going to go into the single straight leg stretch. So again, it's really important to have warmed up those hamstrings a little bit. But if you're pretty stiff through the hamstrings, don't be afraid to keep a slight bend in the legs. Bend them as much as you need to. And notice here, it's about the movement of the legs while we focus on keeping the upper body nice and still. So I'm not twisting from side to side, even though I'm alternating the legs from one to the other. So from here we do double leg raises. So keeping the heels connected and keeping those legs long. Now you want to make sure that when you lower your legs, your spine is staying neutral. So if you find that you're starting to have the back waist area, particularly lifting way up off the mat, then that's where you need to stop so that you are able to maintain neutrality in your spine the entire time. Now, at any point, if you get tired for any of these, just be sure to give yourself some breaks. Maybe you can skip some repetitions or just take a little rest, a little stretch for the next one. So crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, now we fire up the oblique. So with the fingertips lightly placed by the sides of the head, you're reaching the opposite elbow toward your thigh, your knee, and you're trying to pick up that shoulder blade completely off the floor as you reach across. So again, we're doing approximately 10 on this side as well. And uncross and switch it around. Moving over to the other side. Taking time to breathe in when it's easiest. So when you're laying back, you're breathing in. When you come across and compress, you're breathing out. And that is the rule of thumb for Pilates. You're breathing out where it is most challenging, and you're breathing in where it is the easiest. So from here, we move into the flutter kicks with the head raises. So you are going to lift the head, keeping it lifted if possible. Now, if your neck starts to feel the effect, simply rest your head on the floor and concentrate on those legs fluttering up and down. So we're doing the same rhythm as we do with the 100. You're inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5, and we do that 10 times over again. Trying to keep that body nice and still, keeping the legs firm and really energized right through the tips of your toes. As we release it down, stretch those arms, enjoy that length, and then rolling yourself up with control for the roll-ups. And this one is all about control. Resist the temptation that you may have to throw the arms forward. It's all about using your powerhouse strength as you move up and down. Ever so articulating bone by bone by bone on the way down and peeling away bone by bone on the way up. Using your breath is going to energize you so much to ensure that you can keep going. 10 of these. Again, if you need to skip a few reps, go right ahead and do that. So we're almost through. And from here, we are going to finish it up with one last one. And as you bring the legs in, once again, we're moving into eagle legs and arms for more crunches. So wrapping the right leg around the left one, you want to try to, you're crossing them if you can, you're hooking your foot behind the right ankle, and the same with the arms, winding them together. Just rest the thumbs over the forehead as you squeeze the bottom elbow toward the top knee. So really working those abs today. We're going to do 10 on each side. So make sure that you are curling that tailbone up as you lift. So unwind and let's get it set up on the opposite side. So it also gives the hips a bit of a stretch while we concentrate on the 6-pack muscles here. Just a few more. Really hanging in and unwind. Great work. Great job, everyone. It's not easy to get this far, but we keep going with the obliques here as we do bicycle crisscrosses. As you lift, try to envision your rib cage lifting toward the opposite thigh instead of working the elbow only. So you want to keep your elbow in your peripheral vision so that you're not cranking the head forward. You want to use the ab power to get the head lifted and across. Now when we come to our bridge here, we're going to add some leg work as we reach and extend through the right leg to begin. Paying attention that the pelvis stays level. As soon as you lift one leg, it's quite easy to tilt the pelvis, so we want to avoid that. Really ground through the heel of your left foot, the ball of your left foot, as well as your arms, shoulder blades, and back of the head. So let's switch it around. Left leg comes up in that tabletop start and press it through. It's as if you're pushing really hard to open up a really stiff, heavy door. So really reaching through the foot, keeping hips level, and controlling the movement. Don't forget, this practice used to be called contrology. So all the movements are really, really controlled and well paced. Now from our Pilates bridge, we give a little release here, and then we set up to come into some oblique work once again. Now, as we bring the left leg across to the right side, so make sure you've got enough room. Scooching over a little bit here, arms are nice and open as the left hand reaches toward that left ankle. So we reach up. So you're keeping that left leg nice and straight, and you've got a little bit of help with the right arm to help ground you. However, you're picking up that left body to reach up and across. Again, making sure the arms aren't floppy, the legs not floppy. You really want to energize those limbs. Keeping the obliques working as we reach right hand to the left leg. Keeping it nice and strong. Firm up the arm, firm up the leg. Feel that work. Enjoy the sensation. You can feel that burn, and it does feel really, really good. You'll be proud of yourself for all the hard work you've done once the workout is through. So let's take that right leg across. We're setting up the same way as we lift. Right leg, right arm. And if you can, smile. I know I'm looking pretty serious there, working pretty intensely. I get into that zone and get really intense sometimes. And let's finish up with the oblique work here as now the left hand reaches for the right leg, reaching across. These oblique exercises are really intended to not only strengthen your core, but they're great for whittling your waist as well, so that you've got that kind of corset effect going across like an X in the front of the body and in the back of the body as well. From here, we move on to some lower ab focus. So we're going to focus on bringing the tailbone off the floor. So this one, really, you're not going to use your hands. It's all about using that power. You also don't want to be swinging the legs. So try to focus on the squeeze of those lower abs to lift and to lower, rather than flinging the legs up. So I know it looks like there might be a little bit of momentum there, but I assure you it's all power. So lifting to the oblique once again. So I'm reaching through those pointer fingers to the left, reaching for the outer left ankle or in that direction, over to the right side, same thing. Picking up the left shoulder blade off the floor, keeping that little tuck of the chin as well, particularly on the way up. We do 10 on each side, and then separate the hands as we reach straight through the middle, keeping the distance between the lower ribs and the hips as close as possible. From here, let's take a little breather, enjoy that stretch, enjoy the breather, and as we goalpost the arms on each side, we squeeze legs together and work the obliques on the left and right as we do a little more stretching on the left, contracting on the right, and bring it back up again. So the legs are just hovering above the floor when you lower those knees down. They don't come all the way down. They're just coming down enough to create some resistance. Resistance training is where it's at, whether you're using weights, bands, or using your own body weight. That's what will make you strong. I've heard so many testimonials and stories of people healing their back problems by doing Pilates. So it really does work. All it takes is some discipline to do it on the regular so that you can enjoy those benefits. So as we keep going here with those oblique twists, to the left, and let's bring it down. Nicely done. Just getting through that workout as we keep working on the obliques. So we're working the left ones as we bring right fingertips by the right ear, reaching with that left hand. So this time the knees are to the floor. If you have a hard time doing that, you can always place a pillow underneath the bottom knee or between both knees to make it a little bit easier for yourself. And you are continuously extending, reaching, picking up that head, picking up those shoulders. Let's switch it around to the opposite side. Oblique reach crunches. Right hand to that right foot is our intention. Keep it going. Just about there. And take it up. So now we move into a starfish crunch. So open up those legs and arms and bring it up all at once, lower it down at once. So control the way down as well as the way up. You may want to feel like just dropping everything as you open up, but no, you're going to keep it all energized and firmed up. So you are going to be shortly taking the focus away after this one from the front of the body to the back of the body. So important to work it on all sides. So far, we've done lots of work on the obliques. We've done lots of work on the lower abs, upper abs, even some glute work. And now we're going to roll it over, moving into a prone position, extending the legs long, the arms. Slide the shoulders down, tuck your tailbone a little bit, lift the navel off the floor, and when you're ready, picking everything up to coming to swimming. We're paddling the arms and legs. Inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. Go all the way through that repetition 10 times over, just like the 100, so that we are having a total of those 10 repetitions. Keep it moving, keep the chest lifted, keep your gaze slightly forward, keeping the legs lifting from the hip crease as best as you can. Keep those glutes engaged here and relax it all. So as you stack the hands together, setting up for our next move where we lift the arms, we lift the head, which stays resting on the hands, and we lift as much of our rib cage as possible. Again, we're doing a total of 10 repetitions here, so we're about halfway through as we use the exhale to get some power to lift it up. And keep going for a few more. Lots of control here. May not look like a lot's going on, but believe me, it is powerful. So let's move our focus into the lower half as we lift one leg. So we just want to get our body used to the movement here of really picking up the leg long while we control through the upper body. Can you relax your shoulders and your upper back and your neck here? We just want to feel that lower half of the body working and squeezing. Nicely done. Over to the other side. By keeping the length and preventing yourself from twisting. So you want to work the glute to really pick up the body here, or pick up the leg. Limbs are long, these limbs, legs particularly, they're long, they're heavy. So that is giving you that resistance. Now as you prepare to move on to the next one. We have both legs connected and we're lifting both of them at the same time. So again, you want to try to relax that upper body. I know it's tough. I can feel myself creating a little squeeze in the upper body, but try to relax it as best as you can. Now extending the arms, we bring it back to upper body. So we're doing the same thing, lifting one arm and the ribs and chest. So you've got a little help with your left arm being down on the floor. That really helps you to elongate and to rise the body up. So much strength that you're gaining for that posterior chain. This is so beneficial, just beyond words as far as how this will benefit you and your body, and balancing out muscles that sometimes you don't even realize you ever had. A few more raises here. Taking your time. And again, if you're not used to this kind of work, you may find that you have to skip quite a few repetitions and just do what you can. Listen to your body. It's so important. It will talk to you. It will tell you what you need to do and when you need the rest. So make sure that you pace yourself. Moving on, we've got both arms lifting and raising that upper body. Keeping those arms long. Feel the work. Again, try to isolate so that you'll see my feet are staying on the floor. They would like to lift up quite often. That's what I'll see in class, is a lot of the legs will be involved and people have difficulty isolating, but it's a really good exercise to do one at a time. So releasing your lower back here just by bringing the knee to the side is going to feel so delicious for your lower back. So important to give it that release because we're not quite done here yet. So we want to take the breaks that we need. You can always stop the video, take a longer break if needed. But bringing the soles of the feet, the inner soles together, the arches, the heels, we lift the thighs up. So again, you're isolating in the lower body. Try to relax the upper body. Really keeping that tuck of the tailbone, the navel lift, so your lower back is always supported. You want to have the glutes do the work, not your lower back. Your lower back's working by stabilizing you. So bringing the fingertips to the ears, we are now doing some oblique twists in reverse. And we're working those back obliques, lifting and twisting. So it helps if you're gazing toward the elbow. Helps you to not only lift up, but add the twist from side to side. I really enjoy this workout. I find that it is such a complete work for strengthening the core. And like I've said before, it really attacks the core from all sides. And that's really important to balance your body, balance those muscles so you've got strength and flexibility on all sides. So we finish up that one, we release the lower back on the opposite side. So now we're going to finish this up with an upper and lower body lift. So extending those arms and find a comfortable distance for the legs and the arms as you lift everything up. And as usual, we do 10 of these. So that's number 3, 4, 5, halfway there to our grand finale for 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, there's one more for good measure. Let's take it back. It's so easy to lose count as I'm doing these. So from here, we come into wide angle child's pose for recovery. It's a great stretch for the back. If you want a little more rounding, you can slide your forehead a little closer to your knees. But I thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next practice. Namaste.